PCS 560/570 handsets from SpliceCom bring all of the power of the Maximizer unified communications platform to your fingertips. Time saved through increased contactability will deliver efficiency and improved customer service for your business. In today's busy office, the two most important attributes of a business telephone are to make and receive calls in an efficient and effective manner. We've become very used to the rich information and ease of use of the mobile phone. Well, the PCS series of phones have continued this trend and give you easy access to the Maximizer system database of up to 10,000 contacts. So now let's have a look at how easy it is to handle calls, transfer calls. So easy, it's simplicity itself. Hi Harold, how are things? Good. I don't know if the shipment will be ready on Thursday. Karen should know that answer. I'll see if I can find out. Hold on 1 second. Hi Karen, I've got Harold on the line and he wants to know if the shipment will be ready on Thursday. It will. What mode does he want to use? Oh, I don't know. Hold on there and I'll go back to him. Hi Harold, Karen wants to know what mode you want to use for the transportation. Oh, look, hold on a second. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's bring Karen into the conversation and we can all talk together. Hi guys. Okay, so can I leave you talking and discuss the finer points? Thanks a lot. Let's take a closer look at what just happened when making and receiving calls. When a caller rings into the Maximizer and through to the PCS 570 phone, we get great information about who he is. Hello Harold. This is because the number has matched against the database record for Harold Evans, so I know exactly who's calling me. At this stage, I can put Harold on hold and dial through to Karen. When Karen answers the call, I have the ability, now with additional icons on the screen, to switch back to Harold. I can see that from the display at the top as to who I'm talking to, and if I switch back to Karen, again I can see that. And maybe it's a good idea to conference everyone together, and at that point I can even record the call. To step away and leave them talking, I simply unconference and hang the call up. So in that very quick sequence, we've seen receive call, transfer call, switch call, conference and record, all simply achieved from the clear display. Now let's look at a more simple process for transferring a call. Again, the call comes in and the system recognises who the caller is, and I'm able to answer it appropriately. Hello Harold, yes, I'll transfer you through to Karen. And when Karen answers the call, I can simply announce that it's Harold and hang the call up, and the call's been transferred through. And then even more simply than that, the other way of transferring a call, usually referred to as a blind transfer, again, I can answer the call, put the caller on hold, dial Karen's number and hang the call up, and that call has gone through to Harold. Let's take a quick look at how easy it is to make calls from the new PCS phones. I can simply lift the handset, dial a number, and that call will ring. Very simple, very easy. I can also use the speaker key and dial the person's number. Or finally, and this is something we're becoming more used to with our mobile phones, we can preview dial. In this way, I can dial an extension number, oh, but I've dialed it wrong, and I can backspace and insert the correct number then either press the dial button or simply lift the handset. Preview dialing, unlike with a mobile phone, also gives us the ability on the PCS phones to see whether or not we can get through to the user. As we can see here, Karen is actually busy. But just in the time that I'm sitting watching the screen, she becomes free and immediately I can dial her, therefore making sure that I get through to speak to her. At times, it's useful to be able to receive a call whilst on a call. The Maximizer system can give you call waiting notification, but the PCS handsets will allow you to know who that caller is. At this stage, I'm on a call to Karen. A call now comes in from an external source. I can see that it's Harold Evans calling me, and I can choose to answer that call. At this stage, I realise that it's an important call. I need to speak to Harold. I can simply switch back now to Karen and say that it's an important call I have with Harold and I need to speak to him, and I'll speak to her later, and switch back to Harold. Yeah, hi Greg. Yes, that's right. I've picked you up again now. I'm back at my desk and I've got the information here in front of me. We've just seen how I parked and picked up a call from Greg Evans. Let's have a look in more detail exactly what happened there. I was in another part of the building and I took the call from Greg, but because I didn't have the information I needed, I parked it. I can see his name in the park slot. I hang the phone up there and I go back to my office. When I reach my office, simply go to the screen and there his name is displayed in the park slot and simply collect the call. Most business people have a relatively small number of people that they contact on a very regular basis. These people could be inside or outside of the business. But how can we speed up this really important operation? Wouldn't it be nice if you could see if your colleagues were available or unavailable at any given moment? And wouldn't it be very helpful to be able to pick up ringing phones off their desk when you knew that they were away from their desk and unable to do so? The heart of the new PCS series of phones is the favourites display. We use this in two ways. Firstly, it gives us a status or presence indicator as to what the user is doing. And secondly, it's a speed dial that quickens access to contacting them. Let's look at how these work. On here, I can see park slots. I can see speed dials, giving me simple, single-touch access to ringing phone numbers. I can also use these speed dial keys as busy lamp field or presence status indicators. So I can see that Harold is currently busy on a call, and I can see that Karen is actually got a call ringing on her extension. I might want to pick that call up, and simply by pressing the key, I can pick the call up and speak on her behalf to the caller. I can maximise the amount of numbers that I have on this speed dial by using the arrow down key, and I can have as many screens of speed dials as I desire. But I can also put them under group headers, and this is a way of making them more accessible. I can keep my personal numbers, for example, under one group header and get to them very quickly and easily. I can also use these keys for functions such as door release. As you can see, a great many features are accessed via the favourites display, so much so that many users like to use this as their default page. How much time is wasted in the office searching for phone numbers, using out-of-date contacts, or even misdialing the number? A total waste of time. Well, the new PCS 560, 570 phones access the power of the Maximizer system database to improve contactability with all those customers and colleagues on the system. Let's take a look how that works. By going to the book key, we give ourselves access to the system directory of 10,000 names. I can key in those names simply and easily by multiple depressions of the keypad keys. I've got that one incorrect. I can correct it and then go to Greg Evans and now access any one of a number of different phone numbers for him. I think he's at home today, working from home, and I can call him on that number. I can also search through for maybe users on the system. If I look for Karen, and I can see Karen come up here under that key. I can see she's busy. So although I go to her numbers, I maybe might think of ringing her on her mobile, but perhaps I'll just leave her a voicemail message and simply straight into her voicemail to be able to do that.
Available to take your call at the moment. Please leave a message after the tone.
Wouldn't it be great to know who called, when they called, did they leave a message, and be able to contact them straight back at the touch of a button? Let's take a closer look at the personal messaging feature on the PCS handsets. I've now returned to my desk and I'm immediately informed that I've got a message waiting for me by the blue flashing light here and also the red overlay there. So by going to the envelope key, I can then see that I've now got a voicemail waiting for me. I can press the button.
Hello, Graham. Great news. I've got the order. Give us a call back and we can go through the details.
I can listen to it again just by pressing the skip back button, or I can contact the person back. Now, he didn't leave any details about who he was, but the system recognised him and has given me that name on the display. And if I want to ring him back, I simply press the key and that rings him back. Going back into my personal messages now, I've got other messages here with different icons showing that I tried to call Jeremy but didn't get through in that instance. Same with Harold Watkins, and I received a call, had a successful call with Greg Evans and Harold Evans earlier on today. But I actually said to Greg that I would call him back later on, and simply by highlighting his name, going to the choose button, I've then got a range of numbers to ring him on, and although he rang me on his mobile, I know that he's going to be at home by now, so I'll call him on that. Very quick, easy, flexible access to multiple different numbers. Let's look at, in a little bit more detail around that voicemail message and what we can do with it. If we go back to Jeremy Leaf, not only can I listen to that message.
Hello, Graham. Great news. I've got the order. Give us a call back and we can go through the details.
But I can also share it with colleagues. By forwarding, I can then go to Karen, who's in the shipping department, to pre-warn her about this order. So simply forward that voicemail to her. I could also have forwarded it to my email and then sent that email attachment to other people on or off the system. To improve the effectiveness and efficiencies to be gained from personal messaging, we allow different greetings to be recorded. Under the envelope icon, we can access our permanent greeting. This is the greeting that's there in place all the time and defaults back every night to be your greeting on the system. However, there are some days where you might want to leave a more specialist greeting to inform callers of exactly what you're doing. In this way, we can go to the daily greeting button. But I would perhaps prefer to say,
Speak greeting after the tone.
hello, this is Graham, you're through to my personal mailbox. It's Friday and I'm out of the office until the early part of the afternoon and will be unable to return calls until that time. Thanks for calling. And I stop the recording, and that will now be played for this day. Tonight, it will be replaced again by my defaulted permanent greeting. Personal messaging also gives you personal memo. Under this key, we can record quick reminders that we can listen back to later on in the course of the day. For example, don't forget to do the sales figures before 5 o'clock. This is now stored, like my other voicemails, in my message box, and I can listen back to it during the course of the afternoon.
Don't forget to do the sales figures before 5 o'clock.
And of course, that could be forwarded to colleagues in the office, or indeed sent via email to people outside of the building. Everyone likes to work slightly differently or have different needs, and some of these can even change during the course of a day. I can set myself in and out of Do Not Disturb, for example, or show colleagues that I'm out of the office. I can step in and out of answer groups during busy times. And I can also set my diverts very simply, although personally I tend to keep my desk phone twinned with my mobile, except of course when I'm on holiday. Furthermore, I can customise my PCS phone to show exactly what I want to see. Let's explore how we do this. Accessing the PCS phone settings can be done in two different ways. Either we can go to our favourites display, the up arrow, and then the settings button, or the settings button actually is concealed below the bottom right hand corner of the idle page, so we can just access it by depressing that button there. And then we're into settings, and we can see the settings that I've just been talking about, like DND, and I can tick that and go into that state. If I come back out now, I can see the double flashing speed of the blue S and also the red flash on the screen, making it very clear to both myself when I return to my desk and indeed others that my phone is in this state. To take it off, simply go back into the settings, untick it, and we've done it. Group key. I know that the sales team is getting a little bit busy with calls at the moment, so simply by pressing the group key, I can go and select myself to be part of the sales group and now start receiving calls into the from the sales group number. Very quick, very easy, and again, when I want to get out of that because it's quietened down a little bit, I can do so very quick and very simply. Status gives me the ability to show other users on the system what I'm doing at that time. Am I in a meeting? Am I at lunch? Am I on holiday, perhaps? And this is now easily shown up on their handsets that that's the state I'm in. If I've pre-recorded some voicemail greetings appropriate to that, then they will get played as well automatically. And lastly, we have the diverts button. And diverts give us the option to set multiple different types of divert. First of all, we have personal. And the personal divert means that I just have my own personal calls, my DDI calls, routed to another extension. However, there's also dual personal. And in dual personal, that means that the calls are still ringing on my desk in the usual way, but now my DDI calls are being routed to that other extension or device. Now, typically, the way I would use that is in the office. I'd have all the calls ringing on my phone, but just my DDI calls routing through to that other device, which in my case would be my mobile. I can have all, and all means that all my calls are now being routed to another device, not ringing on my desk phone, but ringing on another device. Or I could have dual all, which means that all calls ring on my desk phone and all calls ring on that other device, i.e. that mobile or another extension somewhere else in the building, or my home phone, or wherever that other location is. This covers pretty much any way of working for anyone who wants to set up their diverts. And usually most people are able to leave them in that single state all the time. But if you did need to change it, you can see how quick and simple it is. The settings screen allows even further customization of the PCS handset to suit your own requirements. The defaults button takes us into another screen, which allows us to refine the way that the system searches the directory of contacts. to improve the performance of that. We also have the idle page. And the idle page, or default page, is what is appearing on the screen when nothing else is happening on the phone. Some people like that perhaps to be history, or they could select it to be their favourites, the BLF page that we saw earlier, or indeed the logo page. And in this particular instance, we further customised it by the system administrator placing a customised logo into the screen. Do you work from one place all the time? Some people don't. Some people work from their office or their home. Sometimes they're travelling. They might be at another branch office or indeed at a customer meeting and unavailable. The Maximizer one number system allows this flexibility, and this is delivered to the full by the new PCS phones. No information is retained on the phone. So wherever you log in, you pull all of that information to you. That's your speed dials, your messages, your missed calls, your directory accesses, your customization. Everything about your phone is delivered to you wherever you are with the Hot Desk Mobility solution. Let's take a look at how that works. I'm now in the Northern office and I've walked up to the Hot Station 1 phone. This phone is configured as a hot station and has no records of callers, has no busy lamp field or speed dials associated against it. But I now want to use this as my phone for today. So I simply log in with my extension number and password, and now the system assigns this phone to me with all of my attributes. So when I then look at my busy lamp field and speed dials, it's populated in the way that we saw earlier. When I look at my messages screen, I see the missed calls and voicemails that again we looked at earlier. This phone is now absolutely assigned to me. All of my attributes and no one else's. This could be a missed call, or worse still, a missed sale. Not with Maximizer, because with Maximizer, the one number diverts that you can have set up for you all the time will reach you wherever you are. No need to change those diverts. You can have that setting as you want it all the time. Hello, Harold. Hi. Yeah, you just called me. I was just on my way out.